Hi, I'm Jane. My parents have always pampered me and given me expensive gifts. I always had cool clothes and makeup. My looks were pretty good too, so it was little wonder that I was the most popular girl in school. On my 18th birthday, I decided to throw a big party. Preparations began first thing in the morning. My parents ordered catering and decorated the house with balloons. In the evening, I put on a new dress and was about to go downstairs when my brother came into my room. Chris was hiding something behind his back, and I immediately guessed that it was a gift. Happy birthday, Jane! I eagerly tore the wrapping paper and almost squeaked with delight. Chris gave me a branded chess set. I'd always wanted one of those. I like chess since childhood. I participated in championships and won prizes. I thanked my brother for the cool gift, hugged him tightly, and we went downstairs. The party was really cool. My boyfriend spun me around, and I caught the envious glances of my friends. Brandon was very handsome. Most people dreamed of dating him, but he had chosen me. In the midst of the party, my parents turned down the music and called me out into the yard. When I went outside, I couldn't believe my eyes. They were giving me a car! I was over the moon, and of course, immediately wanted to test drive it. I got behind the wheel, Chris called shotgun, and Brandon sat in the back. We drove around the city at night, and it felt awesome. I sped up, we drove into an intersection, and then another car suddenly appeared on the right. I didn't have time to do anything, and we collided. The impact was so strong that the airbags deployed. Everything after that felt like a dream. The other driver ran out of the car and immediately called the police. During the first moments, I was in shock and didn't understand what was happening. And then I saw that Chris was unconscious. He looked really bad. Brandon, like me, was fine. We got off with just a couple of abrasions. Chris was taken away by ambulance and they took him to the intensive care unit. At the hospital, I couldn't believe it was all real. How could a day that was supposed to be one of the best of my life have turned into a real nightmare? But then, the doctor appeared and said that Chris's spine had been damaged and he would not be able to walk anymore. I felt so guilty I couldn't look my parents in the eye. When I got home, I wrapped myself in a blanket, sat on the sofa, and rocked stupidly from side to side. Lost in my thoughts, I did not hear the doorbell at first. It was Brandon. He tried to cheer me up, but everything he said irritated me. "This is for you." I didn't have time to wish you a happy birthday. He handed me a small case. I got angry. How could he still talk about my damn birthday so calmly? I opened the case and saw a gold bracelet inside, but I immediately slammed the lid shut and threw the gift aside. I made a decision in just 1 second. I can't date you anymore. Looking at you, I will always think about Chris and this accident. I'm sorry, but we need to break up. Without giving Brandon a chance to say a word, I practically pushed him out the door. I didn't feel any better, and after he'd left, I burst into tears again. The court decided I was guilty and took away my driving license. I was rapidly sinking into depression. Over the next few weeks, I got rid of most of my stuff. I put all the bright clothes and makeup in boxes and sold them online. Instead of short skirts, dresses, and flashy tops, I now wore jeans and blank hoodies and chose sneakers over heels. At school, everyone was constantly whispering behind my back. I grew so sick of it that I asked my parents to transfer me to another school. I wanted to become invisible, and I succeeded. My new classmates did not pay any attention to the boring new girl. By that time, Chris had been discharged from the hospital and brought home, but I didn't dare talk to him. My parents did not openly reproach me, but I noticed their disapproving looks. One day, I decided to go to a cafe after school. On the way there, I noticed a strange woman following me. I would have thought she was just a passerby, but she wouldn't stop staring at me. In the end, I quickly walked into the cafe and convinced myself that I had imagined it. The next day, the principal called me to her office. I had no idea what Mrs. Pitters wanted to say and walked into the office worried. "I've heard that you play chess well. That's why I want you to participate in the school championship this week." No excuses. On the way home, I wondered how Mrs. Pitter had found out about my passion for chess. Maybe she'd read my personal file from the old school? As I was going up to the porch, I saw the woman who had been following me the day before again. She was standing right outside my house. I felt uneasy, but I decided I was just stressed out and paranoid. Before the championship, I felt terribly worried. There were many guys and only one other girl among the participants. Wanda gave me an appraising look and smirked condescendingly. The guys obviously didn't take me seriously either, and I decided to show them all what I was capable of. I won the first few games easily, and then I had to play against Wanda. Game was intense, but in the end, I won. A couple of days after that, the principal called me to her office again. Now, I had to represent the school at the city championship. It didn't take long and I won our school a gold medal. Those victories suddenly made me remember what I used to be like. The day after I won, I put on one of the dresses I hadn't sold, put on my makeup, and did my hair. Everyone was shocked when I came to school the next day. When my classmates saw me, they fell silent in amazement. They clearly hadn't been expecting such a transformation. During the break, one guy suggested we have lunch in the school cafeteria together, and another invited me for a walk after class. I felt like I had come back in time to the previous month. It even seemed like there had been no accident. Soon I had been back to looking like I used to. The number of my fans grew every day. I was recognized as the smartest girl in school, and the boys thought I was perfect. I was admired and asked out on dates every day. Girls wanted to be friends with me as well, and I quickly got a personal retinue. One day, I decided to throw a party at home for the girls. I invited my friends, including Wanda. We ordered a couple of pizzas, threw pillows on the floor, and set up a home theater. When I went to pick up the pizza from the delivery guy, I suddenly saw Brandon coming out of Chris's room. Hi, what are you doing here? I visit Chris from time to time. By the way, it's weird that you don't do the same even though you live together. You should talk to him at least occasionally. I've got this, okay? Anyway, I'm busy right now. Brandon nodded in the direction of my bedroom. We could hear the noise coming from it. So, you find time for parties, but not for your own brother? You haven't changed at all, Jane. You're just as selfish as ever. His words made me angry. He didn't understand that I didn't talk to Chris because of fear and not because I didn't have time for him. I was afraid to hear that he hated me. Still, I decided to follow Brandon's advice. After the girls had left, I picked up my courage and came to Chris. My brother was sitting on the bed and playing on the console. It all looked so ordinary that for a moment, I even forgot that he couldn't walk anymore. I had rehearsed what I would say 1,000 times, but at that moment, all the words flew out of my head. There was a brief pause, and then Chris smiled at me. He handed me a second joystick and suggested we play together. Spending time with Chris was always easy, and I gradually relaxed. We didn't discuss the accident. He only said when I was about to leave that he didn't hold a grudge against me. We spent the whole weekend together. We watched the TV, played on the console, and breathed fresh air in the garden. I felt like a heavy weight had been lifted off my shoulders. When we were sitting in the gazebo, our parents came up to us. Mom looked at us and started crying. I'm so glad you were talking again. We were so worried about you, Jane. I hope you're not angry that we asked Mrs. Pitters to sign you up for the chess championships. You weren't yourself, and we thought it would cheer you up. Wow, so that's how the principal had found out about my love for chess. I thought my parents had been judging me, but they had been trying to help. Still, I wasn't expecting what happened next. After the weekend, I went to school in a great mood. But as soon as I walked into the building, I realized that something was wrong. No one came up to me, but I could hear everyone whispering behind my back. A couple of times I even noticed people pointing their fingers at me. By the middle of the day, I found out what was going on. Someone had started a rumor around the school about that damn accident. After finding out that my brother had become disabled because of me, everyone turned away from me. Those who admired me not long ago were now trying to stay away. There is only one person who could have told them about the accident. I deleted Brandon's number a long time ago, but I still remembered it by heart. He answered almost immediately, like he had been waiting for my call. I was beside myself with rage and didn't hold back. I didn't doubt for a second that it was his way of taking revenge on me for our breakup. I told that traitor everything I thought about him and hung up. After classes, Wanda was waiting for me by the door. I didn't like her satisfied grin at all. It made me wary. Finally, all is right in the world, and you are right where you're supposed to be. What are you talking about? I overheard your conversation with that guy and realized the truth about you. Your own brother had become disabled because of you. You've been infuriating me so much this entire time that I simply had to use that secret. I told the whole school the truth about you. I'm the smartest girl in school, and you're just an upstart. Before I could react to her words, I heard footsteps behind me. Turning around, I bumped into the stranger who had been following me before. Wanda, stop it! Mom, what are you doing here? I looked from Wanda to the woman and didn't understand anything. Was that really Wanda's mom? But why had she been following me? The woman suddenly took my hands into hers and looked into my eyes. She looked really guilty. Jane, I have to apologize to you. I should have done it a long time ago, but I didn't dare. My husband was behind the wheel at the time of the accident. I distracted him and he didn't notice you. We are the ones to blame for the collision. But I work for the police and use my position to have you found guilty. I hope you and your brother will be able to forgive me. I was shocked. The talk with Wanda and her mom turned everything upside down. I couldn't believe I'd been torturing myself for so long in vain. And it also turned out that I'd shouted at Brandon for nothing. I felt ashamed of myself because I had hurt him for the second time, and he deserved better. When I got home, I found the case with the bracelet he had given me for my birthday under my bed. I decided to fix everything, took the bracelet, and went to Brandon's house. When he saw me, he crossed his arms and frowned. Apologizing was not easy for me, but I sincerely admitted that I had been wrong and said that I wanted to be with him again. As I spoke, Brandon's face brightened up. Then he took the bracelet and fastened it on my wrist. Goosebumps ran down my skin. He pulled me to him and we kissed. At school, students still hate me, but I did not transfer to another one. I decided that I would no longer hide from my problems. Do you think the story with my brother will ever be forgotten? Will they treat me like they used to? Write in the comments down below. What kind of relationship do you have with your siblings?